Der Schauspieler Wlodimir Zelenskyy und Präsident der Ukraine wurde unter anderem durch die sogenannten Pandora Papers bekannt, in denen seine Off-Shore Firmen bekannt wurden und Steuerhinterziehung und Geldwäschevorwürfe erhoben wurden. Jedoch wurde er in der Ukraine besonders durch die TV-Serie mit dem interessanten Titel Servant of the People, was so viel heißt wie Diener des Volkes, bekannt. Man sagt, dass einflussreiche Kreise Zelenskyy über diese Serie dem ukrainischen Volk vorbereitend für die Präsidentschaft nahebringen wollten. Und dies war sehr erfolgreich. Die enorme Gefahr, die von diesem Handlanger ausgeht, wird im folgenden Video deutlich. Selensky ist tief in das berüchtigte World Economic Forum eingebunden. Er berichtet über den Plan namens Diia City und wie er bereits über 10 Millionen Ukrainer dazu gebracht hat, viele Interaktionen des Lebens über das Smartphone zu machen. Er nennt dies einen Staat im Smartphone, aber, und das ist wichtig zu erkennen, nur für Geimpfte. In diesem Zusammenhang soll die Ukraine eine der größten IT-Standorte Europas werden und Vorreiter in der bequemen Digitalisierung, also eine Art Blaupause für weitere europäische Staaten. Die sogenannte digitale Transformation der Ukraine mit eigenen Diia City Steuergesetzen. Menschen über 60 sollen hierzu ein Smartphone geschenkt bekommen, also natürlich auf Steuergeldern, aber nur, wenn sie geimpft sind. So werden also Nicht-Geimpfte von allen öffentlichen Prozessen ausgeschlossen. Zudem wird über die Einbindung der Kinder in diesen digitalen Totalitarismus geredet, auch mittels von Spielen und Ähnlichem. Es ist der Aufbau eines digitalen Gefängnisses, in dem der Bürger nach einem sozialen Kreditsystem leben wird und Herrschende per Knopfdruck seine Freiheiten schrittweise wegnehmen können. Ukrainische Soldaten, aber auch viele andere, sollten sich also sehr gut überlegen, ob sie für solche Leute und solche Pläne kämpfen wollen.
Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. Now, I got sent this video the other day of Zelensky, of little Zelensky. There he is with Tom Cruise, two actors together. Anyway, this presentation of the Ukrainian DIIA digital takeover, basically, of Ukraine, a governmental propaganda presentation, it took place in February this year, just 2 to 3 weeks before the whole Ukraine-Russia thing started. And, well, I haven't seen it before, so I thought I'd show it to you and talk about it. Now, I knew the Ukraine had brought in a digital passport and were giving money to people who had the passport and also had to have 2 jabs to have the passport to get the money, you know, a carrot on a stick type of thing, okay? I knew about that. I also knew that they were really pushing the whole World Economic Digital Prison agenda, which we've been talking about on here. But this presentation really shows how much they are pushing it. And it's very much probably what they are planning to do in whatever country you are in. And you have to remember as well, Russia, as well as Ukraine, are very much pushing the passports, the digital IDs, the facial recognition. They're all doing the same thing. They may be saying conflict here, conflict there, but underlying all of it, they are all following this digital agenda of digitizing, tracking and monitoring people 24/7. Zelensky is very much a World Economic Forum puppet tyrant, just like Trudeau, just like Ardern. He's what some people refer to as a swab baby. So let's take a look at this presentation.
During SMS and in it is our Ukrainian creation, the state in a smartphone.
So it's very clear from the start. They say a state in a smartphone. You know, it's clear. They want everyone in a phone. They want to digitize you so you become a digital product in a phone that they can process. This is why I say the smartphone is imperative to their plans and why you should get shot of it.
Here we're not afraid of reforms. We are transforming. The digitization is heart is beating. Here we have breakthroughs, even if it's impossible. Here we are writing the new history. This is a new trajectory. Here the state and me. Here is Diia. Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you in this venue. We welcome everyone who has been joining us through the live feed.
Yeah, they're really going for the Matrix look, aren't they? Really playing up to the sci-fi dystopian imagery, the green and the black, the three green heads speaking with a robotic voice out of the screen. This is what they want to turn people into. This is supposed to be good. That's what they're trying to put across.
In the largest event of the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, Diia Summit, this is a specially created format to present the new and updated digital services every half a year. The state in the smartphone has become the new normal in Ukraine, and the entire world is watching and is closely watching our innovations and technologies. We are shortening the queues in administrative establishments.
You see, the freaky Matrix robot woman says, "We are shortening the queues in administration for public services." You will hear this time and time again. This seems to be their sole reason that's going to benefit the public for bringing all of this in.
And creating new services to facilitate the lives of Ukrainians. This is what Diia is for, and Diia is making the life of everyday Ukrainians simpler and more comfortable. To open Diia Summit, we are proud to invite Mr. Wlodimir Zelenskyy, the President of Ukraine. Good morning, everybody. There's so many of you. It brings me so much joy to see you here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be afraid to dream.
There he is, little Zelenskyy, telling me not to be afraid to dream. Why would I be afraid to dream? I'm not afraid to dream. Nonsense talk.
And this is the words that I would like to kick off our third Diia Summit with. Because even both the video that we have just seen and the event that we are holding right now is about just that. Don't be afraid to dream. 3 years ago, we started to talk about the state in a smartphone, and that was but a dream. And 2 years ago, we started to build this dream, and that was a huge challenge. Today, over 14 million Ukrainians live in the digital Ukraine.
I don't know about you, but I've never had this desire to be placed into a feckin' smartphone, okay? The only people dreaming of being in a smartphone are these techno-freak puppets.
And that is the new reality. 14 million is a landmark number. Because I think just as many times I have been told that I am crazy or our team is crazy to try and even try to create a digital Ukraine. But honestly, together, I really wanted to create it. I really believe that, and I'm happy that all of you believe this with me. And you'd be surprised that 14 million people actually voted for me in the Ukrainian presidential election in 2019. 3 years ago, I told everyone about my dream of Ukraine, and this was actually documented by the elections committee. A dream has become a promise, and the promise has become a goal. And you know, you wait for things promised for 3 years, but we managed to do it in 2. We dreamed about a state that allows our citizens to obtain quality services. And for me, first and foremost, this is about speed and about convenience.
You don't half bang on about dreams. I mean, it's nobody's flipping dream. And again, it's for speed and convenience, he says. all for the public to make their lives easier. This great dream, this goal, all of this upheaval, this Ukrainian digital dream, all of the expense the government are putting in, it's all just to save you time in a queue. There's no other agenda. Oh no, you believe that? They think you're stupid.
When 10 services in 15 minutes, you submit one application in 15 minutes to obtain 10 services for a newborn baby. And our baby is only 2 years old, and this service is only 2 years old, but 9 out of 10 Ukrainian families take advantage of this service to register their newborn baby. When over 1 million entrepreneurs and citizens obtain and receive 8,000 hryvnias of state assistance, when your smartphone holds all of your necessary documents, when your smartphone allows you to pay taxes and fines and social contributions and tax returns, or even submit petitions or receive subsidies or pensions.
Wow, that sounds like a dream. Keep living the dream. They've streamlined how you can pay them taxes and fines. Oh, and then they will have the ability to monitor every transaction you make, and then they can automatically tax your earnings, putting loads of accountants out of work, and instead of sending you a fine, just automatically take it out of your account. And then there'll be more fines because of all the penalties they will introduce with their social credit schemes and gamification cobblers. Why would you sign up to this crap? You've got to be crazy.
2 years we have been analyzing the life situations of Ukrainian citizens, where Ukrainian citizens would interact with the state, and we would strive to digitize our services into the digital realm. I think one of the more popular services is changing of domicile, of changing the registration, which used to be bureaucratic hell, is becoming a thing of the past. Because everyone who has tried to do that in paper would be very frustrated. But now we are abolishing all of these lines, all of these military registrations, civilian registrations. All of this is now going to be accessible in just several clicks.
Here we go again. Queues. I mean, really, is queuing that big a problem in the Ukraine? All of this massive expense the government are going to eliminate, it's all just to eliminate queues. Yeah, it's really kind of them. Wow, it's nothing to do with the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset and the digital enslavement of the world. No, it's nothing to do with that.
And they also shift the philosophy of the relationship between the government and its citizens. Digital transformation transforms public administration, and a good proof of that is our e-support program. In 2 weeks, only 2 weeks, this is the most popular service in the history of Ukraine, which is a 1,000 hryvnia assistance from the state to all vaccinated citizens, which they can spend for sports, theaters, museums, books, trips around Ukraine.
There you go, giving money to those who have got the app. And of course, you can only get the app if you're jib-jabbed. That's a bribe. That's coercement. That's temptation. Plain and simple. Coercing people in. How many times have we seen this tactic over the last 2 years? People like this don't give away money for nout. And when they do, red alarm bells should be going off in your head.
Of course, this is not 100% digitized state, but this is not the Paleolithic medieval state, and even not the state that we remember it in 2018. This is the new reality that has become the new normal in only 2 years. On the 6th of February in 2019, we have presented Diia. And to create it, we have not spent a single dime from the state budget of Ukraine. And the Diia 1.0 had the driver's license and passport in your smartphone. And that was revolutionary. And now we have over 20 documents. And in the Diia portal, now we have over 50 state services, permits, licenses available for you in the click of a button. We have...
This is exactly what they're talking about in the government in the UK, a digital app with all the governmental services in the one app. This is what that 37 billion in the UK was spent on, the NHS track and trace app, which isn't really just a track and trace app. It was a vaccine passport, which will also morph into a digital ID. This is exactly the same as what they are planning in the UK and elsewhere. They just haven't told you about it yet.
We have become the 4th country of Europe to implement an e-driver's license, and that was a pride for us. But we were the first in the world to launch a digital passport, which would be 100% digital equivalent of a paper passport, and that was fantastic. And we were the first to join the EU with the fully EU-compatible COVID certificate, which has been generated by 10 million Ukrainians. And now this has become convenient, this has become customary, this has become something that our citizens expect from us as a digital state. And that, I believe, is beautiful. Because the more we achieve, the harder it is to amaze the citizens of Ukraine, and the more our ambitions, the more ambitious our plans become. We are now planning to hold a census together with Apple. We are implementing digital customs, and we strive to become an IT and tech hub of Europe. And now it doesn't sound so fantastic anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't sound fantastic. A census with Apple? So you got a big tech company and the government working together in tandem to track the shite out of everyone? Yeah, that's fantastic. I was going to do a video recently about the census in Ireland that was recently done. They were asking people every question you could think of about their property. How many rooms? The size of rooms? What time you had to leave for work? What type of internet you had? What religion you were? And apparently the government in Ireland are threatening to fine people up to 44,000 euros, I believe, if you don't fill it in. It's strange, isn't it, that they are so particular about rooms in people's houses and who stays in them when they have this incredible amount of refugees coming in, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going off track. Little Zelensky talking about teaming up with Apple and doing a census of the Ukraine.
And after launching this initiative, it's going to become quite achievable, in my opinion. And regarding our initiative, we are launching Diia City. You're not happy, are you? Diia City, give me more applause, please.
Ha, you see the ego on little Zelensky there. He's not happy with the response he got. He's not getting the feedback he wants. So he says, oh, I want more applause.
Amazing. Diia City is the digital capital of our electronic state. This is one of the best tax and legal regimes on the planet. On the planet, which understands the language of venture capital. We are transforming Ukraine into a country of startups and product companies.
Okay, so he says that we are transforming Ukraine into a country of tech startups and product companies, okay? So this was just a few weeks before the whole Russia thing kicked off. What he's talking about here is something they are calling Diia City, which is a change to their laws, and they're using English law to do this, right? So that tech companies can start their businesses in the Ukraine and get tax rebates or not pay as much tax. And this has had billions of investment from countries overseas.
Thanks to Diia City, we expect the share of GDP, tech GDP of our country to grow from 4 to 10%. up to $16.5 billion, making it one of the largest tech hubs in Europe. We want to build the most convenient state of the world in terms of public services, and the world has been moving along as well. And the most important thing any state has is the people. And the talented people are a foundation of each economy. And we want not only talented Ukrainians to stay at home, but also to invite and engage global talents to come and join Ukraine.
Hold on, let's just hear that again.
And we want not only talented Ukrainians to stay at home, but also to invite and engage global talents to come and join Ukraine.
Okay, so let me get this straight. He wants talented people of Ukraine to remain in Ukraine, and he wants to attract talented companies and talented people from outside of the Ukraine. Okay, so what about the untalented people? Because if you're going to say you want talented people to remain in Ukraine, therefore you are implying that there are untalented people and you don't want untalented people in the Ukraine. Is that what he means? I mean, that seems logical to me. Strangely enough, there is a lot of people leaving Ukraine now. And this was only, you got to remember, this was only a couple of months ago.
This is why we want not only Ukrainian companies, but also foreign companies to join Diia City. And as far as I know, there is a cohort of both Ukrainian and foreign companies who already have expressed their intention to join Diia City. Digital state is about equality. And our goal is to provide quality broadband internet access to each corner of our state and country, and to grant every citizen with the possibility to access high-speed internet. Objectively, right now, we have difficulties with that. We are now expanding the e-support program to allow senior citizens to pay for utilities and for medicines, but not every senior citizen have a smartphone. We have launched an e-educational course on digital literacy, but we're launching a new program where each vaccinated citizen of Ukraine who is 6 years old or older can receive a smartphone free of charge with a subsidized tariff.
Ha! I said this before. I said that the smartphone is so important to their plans, so imperative for the digital trap, that they will offer people phones for free. Again, when governments start giving you stuff for free, the alarm bells should be ringing. I said this last year. They will give people phones for free because their plan to digitize the public, have full control over them monetarily, and tracking and tracing you and turning you into cattle. This trap is so much easier to set because of the public's attachment and addiction to their smartphone, which of course these governments and media companies have helped along over the last 10 years or whatever by offering you all of these entertaining apps to use. So if loads of people throw away their smartphone, their plans are messed up, at least for the time being. The more people who get a dumb phone, as they are called, and stop using a smartphone, the better.
This is our dream, and this is becoming a reality. A free and equal internet access to each citizen of Ukraine, and the ability to influence state policy through the smartphone and through the internet. And this is democracy in its purest form, both online and offline. And today we're making the first step in this direction. Please, ladies and gentlemen, your attention to the screen. Hi, everyone. on the presidential election, we have authored a program together with you, and together with you, we have defined one of its key directions, which is democracy, which means the possibility to make important decisions together, including online using the most modern technology. And today, we are taking our first step there. Diia is going to launch the surveys function, which is one of the first tools of electronic democracy. And for millions of citizens, this is going to be the possibility to voice your opinion and influence state policy quickly. It's a chance for us to quickly gauge public opinion in real time, in real figures. And for all of us, in fact, this is a start of digital democracy.
So little digital Zelenskyy is talking about surveys, voting and digital democracy, as he calls it. I don't trust surveys now. I don't trust voting now. So you start putting that exclusively into a digital realm where it can be manipulated on the fly. Well, that's not good, is it?
All of these surveys are already available in your smartphones. Like I said, we start with some very simple questions, baby steps in our program, but I hope that in the next Diia Summit, we will have a lot to tell you about, a lot to be proud of, and we will have a lot of achievements which we can amaze you with, and more ambitious plans, which will amaze you even more, and you and the world. But we are not afraid of that, because we know that yesterday it was a dream. Today it becomes Diia and an action. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you very much.
Well, there you go. That's Digital Zelenskyy there. You can find the full video on YouTube if you want to make yourself suffer and watch even more of it. There's like 2 hours. They go on and talk about children, schools, gamification, which is basically social credit system to condition people, and getting kids used to the digital economy and all sorts, really. So this, I would anticipate, is exactly the blueprint of what they are trying to bring into the UK. And it is a complete full spectrum monitoring of individuals. As I've said before, a digital trap, a big brother constantly watching you and tracking your movements. And as you can see from this video, for this to initially start, for it to start to work for them, they really need you to have a smartphone. That's why they want to give them away for free to people, especially the older generation, as you can see in the video. So as you can imagine, if you had a large amount of the population who didn't have a smartphone, had only a dumb phone, then it's going to make it much more difficult for them to get started with this beast system, you know? If you can, give this video a share. It might make people more aware of what's coming down the line before it actually happens. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to the tribe at hugotalks.com, a place for like-minded souls, and I'll see you later.